All right, part 3.
All right.
What you looking at, Aaron?
Good Old Games. This may have been a bad year for everyone else, but if you're a Good Old Games fan, this has been one of the best years of Good Old Games, for sure.
What makes you say that, though?
Because they've released so many good games this year. I was shocked that Dishonored 1 and 2 came out, as well as the Wolfenstein games. I was shocked that Evil Within 1 and 2 came out. I was shocked that Prey came out, and I was shocked that Life is Strange came out to Good Old Games. And Supreme Commander 1 and 2 also came out with Forged Alliance.
Wolfenstein doesn't surprise me.
Why does Wolfenstein not surprise you?
Because it's like a classic shooter.
I'm talking about the New Order.
Yeah.
The one that came out in like 2015 or...
Yeah. It's like a modernized classic shooter.
Okay. Well, it surprised me. Almost 90% of the ones I list are published by Bethesda, which is shocking.
Yeah, because we were really angry at Bethesda for a little while.
They had the original, once they got the rights to the original Fallout 1, 2, and Fallout Tactics, they made Good Old Games take them off their website. But then, like, a couple years later, they put them back on, and then 2 years ago, they released Fallout 3 and New Vegas and Oblivion and Morrowind on Good Old Games, and that was kind of where I started liking Bethesda again, when they started doing that.
Yes, they have redeemed themselves.
Although people are still mad at Bethesda because of Fallout 76.
Fallout 76?
I know some people that like that game.
I thought there were only 4.
I think it's because of the vault you start in. It's called Set Vault 76.
Yeah. That's exactly why.
Then why isn't the first one called Fallout 13?
Because people were better at naming games in the 90s than they are today.
You got any examples of horribly named games that come to mind?
New Super Mario Brothers.
That's a good one. New Super Mario Bros.
There's an indie game that's like a remake of Fallout 1, and it's called Atom RPG, like the atom bomb.
Oh, wow.
There was a game that got released that was just a picture of a race car, and the title was called Trackmania.
That's a horrible name.
If I was going to make a game that I wanted people to buy, I would try to make the title as interesting as possible.
EarthBound.
EarthBound's a good name. I
don't think it's a good name for the game. It's inconsistent with the rest of the series. The first game wasn't released outside of Japan until like 5 years ago. They had to think up a creative name for it that wasn't Earthbound 0 or Mother 1, so they just called it Earthbound Beginnings.
On what?
On the Wii U Virtual Console.
Is it on the Switch Virtual Console?
Switch doesn't have Virtual Console.
How do you play old games on the Switch?
With the online service.
So
You gotta pay $20 a year.
Really? It's streamed?
You get the games, but you just have to pay a subscription to keep them.
Really?
I wish Virtual Console was a thing. Because you don't get to pick and choose what games you get. They choose.
What? That sounds horrible.
But, like, you get to keep them all for one measly price.
As long as they leave them there.
I don't think they would take any of them away.
I think they would.
Why?
Copyright.
I think because someone will say something that is offensive to a certain group of people, and then, or someone will find something offensive in a game that they will automatically relate to certain types of groups of people. And then,
Yeah, like Star Fox 2. One of the furries are gonna be like, hey!
Hey, this is making fun of Sonic Fox.
Hey!
Hey.
Remove it!
Sonic Fox. What?
This is a Ku Klux Klan reference. Take it down.
Hey!
Yeah, but Nintendo's not stupid.
Hey!
I don't like this trend of games being censored because it offends certain people.
I don't either.
I think that's...
Fortunately, that's the climate we're in today.
Now we're walking on glass.
I've seen movies and I've played some stuff that I was like, man, I don't think this should have been in this game, but I'm not going to be like, censorship, something like that, because if that's what they want to do with their game, well, then they should have the freedom to do that. I think free speech is more important than censorship. It's so retarded, like, the things that people choose to censor. Like, people get offended because there'll be something in like, what'd you say, there was like a Ocarina of Time, there was like an Islamic chant or something like that?
Oh yeah, the Fire Temple theme.
Okay, so they get offended about that, but yet the internet is loaded with so much trash and disgusting, like, material that should not exist, and yet that stuff is okay. Like, I don't get it. Why are we upset about something as petty as an Islamic chant, and then yet we let some of the most disturbing images and the most disturbing stuff, like, pass on the internet? This game's got a ton of personality.
Yeah, it does.
Which is what games need in order to be good.
I agree.
Personality.
So today is July 4th. So last time I asked your mom, do you have a time estimate of when you'd like people to show up? And she said, we're thinking late afternoon, early evening-ish. And so then today I asked her, what time in numbers do you want us to show up approximately?
In numbers.
So Jay's is open till 7. We could stop there for fun if you want.
We could.
I would like to go to Jay's.
Like before we leave.
Totally could.
I'd like to.
So at Jay's, is there anything particular you're looking for?
SpongeBob's Battle for Bikini Bottom on the GameCube there.
I wouldn't even play the original, I'd just play the remake.
The thing about the remake, as I was comparing the two, is that in order to get a higher resolution, they actually scaled the point of view back, so SpongeBob's not as big.
That's a good thing.
I like big character models.
Yeah, but in a 3D platformer, you need to be able to see everything.
Well, I like big character models. But it's just, I don't know, it just seems like playing a 3D platformer on the GameCube sounds more fun than playing a 3D platformer on PC.
Wait, we're fighting some nooses?
Yep.
I'm surprised it doesn't offend people.
Well, this is the original
Nothing
game.
offended people back then. Because it was the 90s. And
Our video might get taken down
Let them take it down.
because we have so much traffic. You know the Let's Plays that you don't watch on our Playin It channel? Well, in those videos, I'm like, nobody watches. We can say whatever we want. And so we do.
Okay.
So now you wonder, what did we say, don't you?
Not that I think Ben Yahtzee's a genius or anything, but I did hear him say one thing in one of his reviews that I thought was so true, and that was that if a society that can't make fun of each other without getting offended is a society that does not practice tolerance. If you can't make fun of each other's cultures without getting offended, you're not being tolerant, you're being intolerant.
Coddling's never going to teach anyone anything.
I actually don't know what the word coddling means, Jake.
Holding their hand.
Yeah. This game wasn't done by Game Freak, right?
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Well, it was the company that eventually turned into Game Freak.
Speaking of Game Freak, have you heard of the game that they made in 2015 called Timbo the Badass Elephant?
No.
It's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows.
I have not heard of that.
But it's like a mix of a cartoon elephant and Rambo.
They made a really bad RPG game in 2018 called Little Town Hero.
Oh, really?
It sounds like it was just really monotonous and the combat was really unintuitive.
So, Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Ran really bad.
So PT.
So I'm looking at the publication scores for this game that you just talked about, Jake, the Little Town Heroes, and Destroytoid gave it a 4 out of 10, GameSpot gave it a 5 out of 10, Game Radar gave it 3 out of 5, IGN 7 out of 10, Nintendo Life 7 out of 10, Nintendo World Report 9 out of 10. What is Nintendo World Report?
Never heard of it, don't care.
That's funny.
Sounds like a bunch of malarkey to me.
Sounds like a big old load of it.
The music was composed by Toby Fox. That's the only good thing about it.
Who's Toby Fox?
The guy that made Undertale?
Really?
Yeah, isn't that common knowledge?
It kind of is. He's been making big...
I've never heard of that name, so don't worry,
I've
Aaron.
heard of that name before.
Tony Scott?
Toby
No.
Fox.
No, Toby Fox has been making big leaps and bounds in the industry.
I thought all he made was Undertale.
He made Undertale, he made Deltarune, he's composed for various games. He made us the sequel to Undertale.
Hey, what's that under there?
Is it good?
What?
Wow, this is the most boring website I've ever seen in my life.
World Nintendo Championship?
Nintendo World Report.
World Nintendo Championship?
This is the website. It's like a website that was made in the early
Whoa.
90s.
Oh, it's a forum.
That looks awful. Hey, what's that under there?
What?
Hey, what's that under there?
I don't know what you're asking me.
I said, hey, what's that under there?
Underwear.
Hey, did you know that Metacritic, like, even though I don't care about...
What were you going to say about Metacritic, Aaron?
It's been found out, and they later confessed to it, that Metacritic gives certain companies more weight for their scoring system than others.
So it's like proven now, even though we all suspected it's actually proven?
Yep. Isn't that garbage?
So then how can you trust anybody?
You can't. You just gotta play it yourself.
You just gotta play it yourself.
You just gotta play it yourself and make your own conclusions.
Exactly.
I think one of the greatest, coolest features of this game, besides it having great personality, that should have been implemented in every RPG after this one, is once you get a certain level, insta-kills.
Yeah. And it still gives you the experience.
Yes. We made an actually good game where we don't have to like pad and grind it out forever, so we're just gonna insta-kill this stuff so that way you can continue with the story.
You know what game needed to do that?
Oh, you're talking about Albert Odyssey.
Albert Odyssey, yes. That news kind of has SpongeBob's face. When SpongeBob's,
When he's sitting at the table drinking his coffee.
yes, that face.
He does have that face. I can't unsee it.
How do you think they came up with the enemies in this game?
Drugs.
You don't think they're just looking around the office and they're like, hey,
Hey.
there's a noose. Let's put that one.
Hey. There's a noose.
Let's put that in the
That'd
game.
be a great idea.
Because, earlier there was a little barf.
Uh-huh.
It was just laying around the office, see?
Because there's so many pirated copies of this game floating around on the internet, is this game still valuable?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every time I look at it, it's around $200.
Hey, did Discord get rid of, since they're trying to now like appeal to a broader audience, did they get rid of their Leroy Jenkins opening lines? Like when you start Discord up, it used to say Leroy Jenkins.
Well, it's had lots of different references to.
But they don't do that references anymore now that they tried to appear to a broader.
What do they do now?
They took out a few of them. I don't think they took out that one, though. They didn't specify which ones they took out.
Last time I booted up Discord, it didn't make any gaming references.
Every single time I boot up Discord, it's updating. We got these phones, what year was it? 2017.
I wouldn't consider my phone old, and it's a 6S.
I'm keeping my phone until something's actually wrong.
They're on 12 now.
This phone's so good. I love it.
I love my phone, too.
Isn't the iPhone 12 like $1,000?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know what else is ridiculous? Apple in general.
Yeah?
I think this is the last of The Last of Us.
I agree.
Do you think this is the last of The Last of Us?
The last of The Last of Us?
Because I think this is the last of The Last of Us because The Last of Us has killed itself.
I think that...
It grabbed that noose, was laying around in the office. Hey, is Resident Evil 8 coming out soon?
Not soon.
I noticed when they were releasing their lineups of games for the PlayStation 5, that was listed as one of them. Does that mean that Resident Evil 8's not coming to Xbox?
I don't know.
Guess what Aaron taught me?
What did Aaron teach you?
Aaron taught me about the big 5 on the game.
Capcom 5.
The Capcom 5 for the Nintendos. Do you know that story?
No.
Aaron, will you please tell that story? Because I actually found it extremely interesting.
To make sure that I don't give wrong information, I'll read it to you.
Okay. Aaron's going to teach us the big Cat 5.
Alright, the Capcom 5 are 5 video games that were unveiled by Capcom in late 2002 at a time when Nintendo's GameCube console had failed to capture the market share. Capcom announced 5 new GameCube titles with the apparent goal of boosting hardware sales and showing off third-party developer support. Capcom USA followed up with confirmation that they would be exclusive to the GameCube. The 5 games were PN03, a futuristic third-person shooter, Beautiful Joe, a side-scrolling action platformer, Dead Phoenix, a shoot-'em-up, Resident Evil 4, survival horror third-person shooter, and Killer 7, action-adventure game with first-person shooter elements. Though not directly related to each other, they were all overseen by Resident Evil director Shinji Mikami, and except Killer 7, developed by Capcom Production Studio 4. Capcom USA later clarified that only Resident Evil 4 was intended to be an exclusive. The initial announcement was due to the miscommunication with their parent company. Of the 5 games, Dead Phoenix was cancelled and only PNO3 remained a GameCube exclusive. It was a critical and commercial failure. Both Beautiful Joe and Killer 7 sold modestly. Killer 7 gained a significant cult following, effectively launching the career of director Suda51. Resident Evil 4 was the runaway success of the 5, though its GameCube sales were undercut by the announcement of a PlayStation 2 port to be released later in 2005. Beautiful Joe also saw a PlayStation 2 version with expanded features. Killer 7 debuted on multiple platforms simultaneously. Since the release of the Nintendo 64, Nintendo has struggled to attract third-party developers like Capcom to produce games for its system. Industry analysts see the Capcom 5 case, particularly the loss of the GameCube exclusivity for Resident Evil 4, as a major blow to the Nintendo-Capcom relations and to an emblematic of Nintendo's failure to attract third-party support during the GameCube era.
The GameCube version of Resident Evil 4 was the best version, even though the PS2 version had more content.
I thought it was just so interesting that it was supposed to be a GameCube exclusive when my first exposure to that game was on the PlayStation 2, and I didn't even realize it was on GameCube till much later.
Yeah, my dad had the GameCube version. Then we got the PS2 version. The sound
is way better, because I got the PlayStation 2 of Resident Evil 4 because of the whole Ada Wong backstory and the cool laser, and I put it in my PlayStation 2, booted up, start playing it, did the first battle where you're getting chased by the villagers, took it out, went right back to EB Games and got my money back for it. I was like, this does not, it was the sound that bothered me the most.
That's so interesting, because when I played it, I didn't even pay attention because it's the only thing I had ever played.
The sound is horrible compared to every other version. It's so muffled and crusty.
It's crusty, muffled.
It's like they knew they had to cut corners for the PlayStation 2, so they cut it with the sound. It was not good.
And the graphics. The PS2 just has worse graphics in general.
We don't like crust unless it's on pizza.
Which is sad the GameCube did poorly, because I really think it's the GameCube that made Nintendo decide, you know what, we're not going to try to compete in the hardware market anymore. I think it was the last great Nintendo console.
I disagree, but we can agree to disagree.
But you can mod the Wii, don't you like that?
I do like being able to mod the Wii.
Yeah,
mod the Wii U as well.
What's that?
Coin of defense.
Coin of defense. I can think of 10 reasons why not to let go of a dime. Is that what he said?
What? That's not what I said.
No, Mr. Krabs.
Oh, yeah.
What? That's not what I said. You got really, really serious there.
I
can think of 10 reasons why not to let go of this dime. Isn't that what Mr. Krabs said? What? That's not what I said.
No, you said that's... Isn't that what you said?
I think I said isn't that what he said.
Oh. That was just a massive miscommunication.
That's funny.
What?
What? That's not what I said.
That didn't help at all.
This looks like a graham cracker cave.
Man, it sucks that Dead Phoenix got canceled, because it was going to be a rail shooter in the same kind of lines as Panzer Dragoon.
Were you on a dragon?
A phoenix. You fly a phoenix.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
And I guess it dies since it's called Dead Phoenix.
Well, if you've seen Harry Potter, phoenixes are made to die and be reborn from their ashes. So it makes sense that it's called Dead Phoenix and that your phoenix would die because it would be reborn from its ashes. At some point they get too old and then they burst into flames, and then which means they die, and a pile of ashes, a baby phoenix, is born. It's a shame you had to see him on a burning day.
But yeah, because of that story, I would like to own all the Capcom 5s that did come out.
So that would be what?
That would be PN03 and Beautiful Joe, and we already have Resident Evil 4 and Killer 7. So
we don't have Resident Evil 4.
Oh.
We're working on getting that.
You don't?
Not for GameCube.
The GameCube version. I mean the Wii version.
We're working on getting the GameCube version complete. trying to find it for a good deal.
We have it.
Do you?
But it's like cursed.
Why is it cursed?
It ruins memory cards.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah. Any memory card.
But how could software ruin hardware?
It's actually really easy for software to ruin hardware.
Well,
I don't know why that ended up happening to that specific disc, though.
How can software ruin hardware? And then Jake's response is, I don't know.
I don't know.
So
I didn't know anything about anything.
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever said in my life.
Well, we all learn and we all grow and we all learn. So it's okay that you said those things. But it's just a really funny, the tone of that recording was really funny because I like how Aaron said it and then how Jake said, I don't know. You know what else they released Resident Evil 4 for?
Everything.
Every single console ever.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be a port for PS5.
Most likely.
I wouldn't even be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
4 on Switch?
Yes.
Really?
Which is really cool because it has gyro controls.
You know what? One of my favorite things that I heard in SpongeBob today that I've never heard before?
What?
When Mr. Krabs goes in the room, he's like, what the halibut? I thought that was funny because that's a fish. And he was almost saying... You got a review of what you just saw of P&O?
It looks pretty terrible.
Why does it look terrible? Tell me about it.
The levels are super boring and generic. It's like all hallways. And really, really generic graphics. Even pretty bad graphics, actually, even for the GameCube. And then it's like she's like Bayonetta before Bayonetta even existed. She's like a she's like a cyborg Bayonetta, because when she shoots her laser, she goes like.
What'd you say?
I said when Piano 3 shoots her lasers in the game in these generic hallways, she goes like this.
So where's the lasers coming out of?
Her hand.
Okay. I thought those were biscuits.
Yeah.
So a lady is the main character?
Yeah, a cyborg lady.
And she's shooting down a hallway and jiggling?
Yeah, she shoots down a hallway and jiggles her butt while she shoots.
That's weird.
It looks really bad, but I still kind of want it just for the collection.
Yeah.
So I can have it part of it. So I can say I own all the existing copies of Capcom 5.
Bayonetta's so OP.
In her own games, yeah.
That's why they needed to nerf her.
I think she became super OP without...
She was OP because of...
what she could do.
Yeah, they tried to make her mechanics, like, faithful to her games, and that made her, like, super duper.
Well,
because she's an actual fighter.
Well, then that would make Smash Bros. Like, if they did that with every character, it'd be the most imbalanced game of all time. Because to have Ness go beat up Bayonetta, who's gonna win that? Ness with his piece of candy?
He's got magic.
It's interesting because what at least from what I've played so far, Prey, the one I'm playing now, the reboot, plays extremely similar, like almost identical to System Shock 2. If I was to describe Prey, the 2017 Prey, in one word, well, I guess that would be 2 words in a numeral. It would be System Shock 2. I'm excited about the new game that they're making. I hope they port it to PC, because as of right now, Deathloop is only coming to PS5.
Remember have you heard Aaron's description of our Let's Plays when it's just you and me?
No.
He's made fun of us so many times. You can't even watch our Let's Plays. I don't know why.
What?
But remember, last night when we were watching the Opposite Day episode, and SpongeBob and Patrick were speaking backwards and laughing backwards, and Aaron's like, "It sounds like Jake and Shonna's Let's Plays."
Oh yeah. I don't even get that.
I know. And then one time Aaron described our Let's Plays. Describe our Let's Play.
If I was to describe your Let's Play, because when I watch your Let's Plays, it's like you guys will be playing something, and then Shauna will go, squirt, squirt, and then Jake will go, squirt, squirt, and then both of you go,
what is this squirt, squirt?
What?
Squirt, squirt.
Squirt, squirt.
Squirt, squirt.
Hey, Squidward.
Hey, Squidward.
Yes, that's...
Hey, Squidward.
That's
Hey, Squidward. Why is everyone laughing at this guy? Look at him.
Yeah, everyone's smiling.
I'm just making him feel dumb, laying on the ground.
Dead?
He's dying. Look at him gasping for air, wheezing.
Jake, what's your favorite strategy game?
I suck at all of them.
What's your favorite?
Choose a strategy game that you liked. What would it be?
Does South Park with Fractured Butthole count?
Yes, actually. I would say that definitely counts.
Yes, that's my pick.
What's your favorite JRPG?
EarthBound.
What's your favorite platformer?
Mario 64.
Hey, since you just stayed your 3D, what's your favorite 2D?
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
That's the one made by Retro Studios?
Yeah.
Really? You like that more than the older Donkey Kongs?
I mean, nostalgia probably puts 2 as a tie.
What is your favorite first-person shooter?
Borderlands 2.
Your favorite puzzle game?
Does Tetris count?
Sure it does.
It is the puzzle game that most people think of. Do you have a favorite racing game?
Top Gear 3000?
No.
That was a quick no.
It's good, but it's not that good.
I know what Jake's favorite walking simulator is.
It's not PT.
I know what walking simulator gets the most praise from Jake.
It's not PT.
I can't name a single walking simulator that has gotten more praise from Jake than PT. And more defense from Jake than PT. Every time walking simulators come up, it's a sore subject, and Jake gets mad. Unless we're talking about PT.
Big bottle rocket go.
It is 4th of July, after all. Favorite racing game?
For nostalgia, probably Need for Speed Underground, but like overall, probably Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
What is your favorite sports game?
Probably
Matt.
Mario Tennis Aces.
You can include Madden 98 if you want.
Madden 08.
Favorite fighting game? I guess the more important question is which Smash Brothers?
Melee.
Not Super M?
That doesn't count. It's not a game. It's a mod. I would pick that if we were talking about mods.
I like that you recognize that it's called Super M.
It's it's not, but I know that's what you call it, so I won't.
At least it's better than other M.
Yeah.
True.
Do you think we
I just
should?
don't have fun playing Smash Ultimate anymore.
Now, why is that?
It's not fun.
Because it's floaty
It's just
and there's no wave dashing.
that's not. Can you?
It's too.
The online sucks, so there's no way to practice playing it.
Is it also too noob friendly?
I wouldn't say that. It's got plenty of fun gameplay mechanics. There's just no way to have fun playing it by yourself after you play like the story mode or whatever. Because the online is such trash.
Wii U still has online stuff?
Wii U?
Yeah, is that what we're talking about?
No. Smash Ultimate.
Well, I thought since the Ultimate started with a U.
That.
It's a first-person shooter.
She really like flies.
She weird like flies?
Yeah, it is exactly like Shooter Like Flies.
Save.
Perfect. Well, this was a good time.
Now the monkey caves are done. And the
Yeah.
next thing we'll do.
And beat the game. Right?
Not quite.
Nah. Well, let's go celebrate the birth of the country that we live in.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I suppose we do.